Hello there, I'm Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another speed build here on the channel. Now, this is one that it is one of the ones that I built sort of a while ago. I mentioned actually in, I think, the Frosted Mansion, as well as the Calico Couture build, that I had a few builds that I had done that had just been sitting there. This one has not been sitting there quite, like, nearly as long as, those two, but it is one of the ones that I had made a while ago, and it's just sort of been sitting there, and I just kept forgetting about it for some reason, and I'm still in the process of trying to make sure that I get a schedule going and get everything up and running. I have some things to do to revert back to the November collab, because I did ask people that participated in that collab if they still wanted their builds to be shown off, even though it's so long, and I'm still taking a while on that, but I'm just trying to make sure that that I keep things going, but a lot of the old stuff is at least brought to a close or an end or things like that. So I'm in the process of trying to still catch back up and get used to things, and this is one of the things on that list to get out there. And I'm calling it My Little Modern. I don't really know if it fully fits in the modern feel, but it was pretty close, and that's sort of what I went. If I'm wrong, tell me down in the comments below. I may be someone who builds quite often on Sims, but I truly don't fully know what house fully is what, like, style, because I feel like some houses have a mixture of styles. Like, some of them aren't just modern, but they have a little bit of both, and then some of them lean more towards the other, so you would call it that, though it's got a hint of something else, but you wouldn't refer to it. Like, I get really confused when it comes to these house designs, and a lot of Sims builders know what they're going for. They're like, yeah, this is contemporary, this is Victorian, this is modern, this is, I don't know even all of them. I'm sure if I really tried to start studying it, maybe I'd understand, but to me this leaned more towards modern, so that's why I'm going to call it My Little Modern. And it's a smaller build. I think it's on a 20 by 15 lot size. If I remember correctly, I built this in Newcrest, which was the free world that came in an update. And it's one of those, like, it's like the little neighborhood section that's off on the top left corner, and it's one of those far back lots. And I'm pretty sure they're 20 by 15. They're definitely 20 by something. Pretty sure it's 20 by 15, if I remember correctly. And if you know me, I don't normally do too many small builds, so, but I definitely want to try, this is when I really started trying to actually do a few different size builds and things like that. And plus, like, I'm trying to actually eventually turn my whole main save into builds that I have built, or I at least, like, edited it. So, like, I think with, like, the goth household and Vlad's place and stuff like that, I'm going to renovate them, but I'm not going to necessarily change them, because I feel like their places are pretty strong lore for the Sims world, and I've included at least Vlad's family actually into the story of some of my Sims, so I want to keep them there, but I won't fully get rid of them. I'll just renovate them, and if I do, like, shell challenges, I might actually keep those in. So, but ultimately, all the buildings are going to be slightly influenced, if not all influenced by me. So that is my ultimate goal, is to basically all the lots. And I can't keep up with building a bunch of lots, because I waited to try to start doing this after a bunch of expansions had come out. So trying to get to the point where, you know, I am covering all the worlds, it's gonna take a while, but yeah, I'm trying. I'm eventually gonna have to do some small size lots, so this was one that I started building, and I just started playing with it. I didn't have a for sure goal in mind, other than it being on the smaller side, and just enjoying building. I think that's what I've been doing a lot as of recently, when it comes to some things, just enjoying the actual build, and not stressing about it too much on making it look 100% amazing and making sure that it awes and wows. I just want to build and enjoy it, and not every house is going to look spectacular and be awe-inspiring or whatever you want to call it. So I was just sort of having fun building and actually trying a few new things, or a few things that I don't do as often, and just playing with that. On the outside, I didn't want to do white and black because I have a really bad habit of putting white and black together, especially if I'm thinking it's leaning more towards that modern feel, then I do tend to go white and black more often. So I went with a cream. It is close to white, but not exactly. So I went with a cream and black on the outside, and it really is. It's not that, like, big of a build, and it's not like a complicated build. It's one person, sort of. I think it's only one person. I don't. Yeah, one person build, and it has, I think, 2 bathrooms, like a guest bathroom and then the master bathroom for the main one. The live-in kitchen entry area is all the same room, so I left that as one big room. It does have a slight divider, which I'll put basically separating like the living space from the entry space, so that there's a slight divide there, but not like a complete divide necessarily. Inside, I do go with more of a blue theme when it comes to the color that sticks out, along with these whites, blacks, and grays. And the kitchen, I think, is a pretty decently sized kitchen compared to the size of the house, but it is like a kitchen, and like there's a little table set that I put in there as well. Now, I haven't play tested this, but I don't see where there'd be any issues actually needing to be play tested. I didn't do anything too super complicated. The only thing is that Sims might go sit on the couch instead of sitting in the dining room, on that little dining room table. But this build is going to be up for you, available on the gallery for you to download if you would like. My origin ID is ArtisticGamer7, and this is going to be called My Little Modern. So if you would like to download this, feel free to do so. I hope your Sims and you can enjoy this build if you do decide to download it. If you ever forget the name of the build or my origin ID, I always have it in the description below, so my origin ID and the name of the build is always listed down there for any build. So if you ever forget the names of them, whatever, you can check the description real quick and go find the name. And right now you may see me trying to move like the curtains in place. Sometimes I don't know if like when you're building you ever have a problem that the curtains don't align right exactly with how you do the windows, especially if you're using bb.move objects and you're moving the windows to a not so much an area that they click to. Sometimes you have a hard time lining up the curtains. A way that you could do that, and the way I do it, is just move the window to one side, to somewhere where it's not going to stay, and then place the curtain, because the curtain tries to auto-click sometimes where it thinks the window's supposed to be, or somewhere where you don't necessarily want it to click, because I find some of the windows have 2 spots that the curtain clicks to, some have 3, and sometimes depending on what look you're going for, it looks really odd, at least to me sometimes. So that's, if it's not clicking to the right place, that's what you could sort of do. Or if it just looks odd, especially if you're resizing curtains, that's a lot of times a big problem. If you're resizing the curtains, they don't always click and look right in the right space. So you can just move the window to the side and then use bb.move objects. Put the curtain about where you want it and where you think it's going to allow. You may have to do a few moving back and forth with the windows to get the curtain exactly where you want it, but that's one way to sort of do it and have it work, so that you can have your curtains wherever you want. And if you need to resize them, which I have to do sometimes because the look I'm going for, I need like the curtains to look a certain way. And though I feel like there's quite a few curtain options, I feel like there's not quite a few curtain options at the same time, if you get my drift. It's like, they don't, they all look so similar and are shaped similar, and a lot, I don't know, it's just, curtain options could use a little more, I think. But At the same time, if they're just going to keep doing what they've been doing with the curtain options, then no, don't really need more curtain options. But yeah, anyway, so talking about bb.move objects, I do sometimes forget to mention this in my builds, but I do always use that cheat. If you are new to Sims and you somehow stumbled across this video before some other Sim builders, I feel like I am one of the not so talented Sim builders out there, and I don't have as much of a following, so if you happen to stumble across this one before you stumble across some other ones, bb.move objects is a cheat that allows you to free move things like when you press Alt and things like that, and it won't, because when you press Alt you can free move it, but it won't always let you place it because it says that it's interfering with another objects. So bb.move objects on allows that option to be meh, so that it's not a thing, so it doesn't say that it's interfering with other objects, and it will let you place it where you want to. And this build also is not made with no CC, so you don't have to worry about downloading CC or anything like that. Most of my speed builds, I do try not to do CC speed builds. I'll have a few here and there where I actually go in with CC. Those ones tend to take me longer because I have to sort through all my CC. But yeah, so I do tend to later on go back and add CC as I start moving my actual Sims into these builds. So if you ever see a build and you would like for me to see it done, like you'd like to see how it looks after CC, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. Like, yeah, I would love to see this build after you add CC to it. I would definitely be okay with, like, giving tours after I do, like, a CC renovation of some of these builds. So if you ever have that urge and you see a build and you happen to think about it, let me know down in the comments below, and I will definitely be okay with giving you a see-through of how it changes. I'm also realizing now, I said blue, but technically it's more like a minty green color, or I guess maybe somewhere along in between minty green and that seafoam green, sort of, is a big color that I use, but I do use blues in some of the other rooms, but it's basically hues in between mint and blue, like light blue. So it's definitely hues in between there, but more towards the mint side of things. But I forgot about that until I was watching it back. I was like, I said blue, and it's not technically blue. It's more of a minty color. But yeah, anyway. So, as you can see, we're on to got both of the bathrooms here. I normally notice that for some reason when I build buildings, I always think about having bathrooms for guests. If you have a bigger family, obviously you don't want just one, like, bathroom for when you have like 3 or 4 bedrooms, because that could, in real life, and sometimes even in Sims life, be chaos, especially if you're having like events going on. So if you're throwing like a house party or a dinner party in Sims and you have quite a few Sims over and you only have 1 or 2 bathrooms, it could be a mess. Someone could end up peeing their pants. I know in my family gatherings at my house, we have 2 bathrooms, but not recently, my dad's really bad about fixing things. So, one of our bathrooms, which is the smaller one, luckily, not the bigger one, broke, and it's been broke for a while now. Like, you can't use the toilet. You can use the sink, but you can't use the toilet, which almost defeats the purpose of that bathroom at that point, because, yeah, it's a sink, but it's attached to an actual bedroom, so the only time that bathroom was used was for whoever was sleeping in that bedroom, which is my dad, and guests when there was a lot of people over and the other bathroom was full. But now we only have 1 bathroom. Granted, my family doesn't do many events at my house anymore, so guess that's not really too big of a problem. But the few times that we do, and I have a particular cousin who spends way too long in the bathroom for whatever reason, and everyone has to pee their pants. So I try to always make sure there is enough bathroom space. And I realize a lot of times I end up making the same amount of bathrooms as there is bedrooms, and I don't intend that. And a lot of times I'm thinking I'm making more bedrooms than there's bathrooms, because that's fine. But in this case, I made more bathrooms than bedrooms. But that's like a guest bathroom and then the actual main bathroom, which I did a little bit of a little shelving thing behind there, which I was just sort of playing around. I remember deciding I wanted to try something slightly different back there, but, and this is obviously the bedroom and the only bedroom. So it is the master bedroom, but the only bedroom. So this is where the lovely Sim here would be living. So I did try to add a few more colors. Like, she put her personality, he or she, I think I originally had a Sim intended for this house, but that Sim I have since then moved into another house, so it won't be their house anymore. But I was planning it for a she, but obviously it doesn't have to be a female that lives in that house. If you download this, you can have whoever you want live in this house, but as for me, I was planning on it being a female, and she sort of had her personality in the living room and stuff like that, a little bit like with the color, but trying to make it look a little bit more muted and not as much going on. But I tried to add more color actually into the actual bedroom and stuff like that. So there was just, it's like the personality, because there's only one Sim living in this house, the personality is mostly the same throughout the whole house, in the bathrooms, in the living rooms, in the kitchen, in the bedrooms. But I try to add just a little bit more of the personality in the bedroom than in the rest of the rooms, just because, you know, they'll spend more time there than they will anywhere else. And I also forgot to do the outside at the beginning. Normally I do the outside towards the beginning, but because it's just, I'm building the outside exterior and doing the windows and all that stuff, so usually I just go ahead and do the outside stuff. Not that I did a whole lot of stuff outside. I obviously just put like a grill and a picnic table and the mailbox and things like that. I don't remember if I put this, I think I intended to put a swing. Did I keep the swing? I think I kept the swing. Because the person I originally was thinking about has family, and if any of the family was visiting and they happened to bring their kids along, there was something like this. Plus, the person I was imagining, she was more of a free type spirit anyway, so I could see her literally just going back and swinging herself just to clear her mind and things like that. And the part that I forgot to record is that little front piece with the tall windows all close together. I actually put some plants in there as like a little decorative exterior piece. You'll see it in some of the screenshots towards the end, but I completely forgot about it and it didn't get caught in the recording also. So, but yeah, there is some screenshots at the end that you'll see the outside. You'll actually see some plants in there, and I realized the first screenshot, it didn't stand out, so that's why I made sure that there was other screenshots where it stand out a little bit more. But yeah, this is a little simple one bedroom place for Sims, one person Sim, or maybe a couple, to enjoy. I hope you like how this build turned out. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts about this build. Make sure you hit that lovely like button if you liked the video and enjoyed the build. And subscribe if you're not already, so that you don't miss out on other speed builds and other things here on the channel. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!